probably wondering why I look so upset. Because I'm supposed to be angry. I'm supposed to be mad. I'm supposed to be frustrated. But let's be honest, man. In Your House. Over 300 episodes, 5 years strong. I'm proud of you. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for you giving a platform to young guys and older guys like myself to be able to express their love for professional wrestling and to talk some wrestling in your house, like you say, director. So, Khan, voice, hype. Thank you guys, man. Thank you for, some strong years. Thank you for allowing me to come on and be one of the highest downloaded episodes. And I wish you many more successes. Many more years of success. God bless.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, Populi Jabberk. Just had to stop by and take this opportunity to wish my main man, the Dick to the Guy like Alakon Khan and Howse and the entire In Your House staff a happy 5th year anniversary. Here's to 300 more. Keep up the good work.
Yeah. In your house with O'Con. Hey, O'Con in your house. Hollywood in your house. Hypocrisy's head in the clouds. Curating all kind of loud. Wrestling in front of the crowds. Paragon's holding it down. Anybody can get it. Come to us for your news and opinions. We got a voice. There is no choice. Wisdom voice. In your house making wrestling noise. Moving fast just like cruiserweight action. In your house is the perfect distraction. Pumpers in your ears when you in traction. Get this work with some wrestling action. Swell.
What's up, guys? What's cracking? Hollywood House. In your house. We are back. We're ready to make a movie. I hope you guys are ready to make a movie. I hope you guys are with the shits. Because we're with the shits. And we're here to talk a little professional wrestling. That is right. In Your House is back. You already know them vibes. Anytime we slide on through, you know it's going to be a movie. And oh man, we got a major motion picture going on for y'all today on In Your House, because it is episode 300. 5 years of In Your House. And we celebrate that today. And we got a lot to talk about in pro wrestling. Like, there's always, and that's why I'm so proud to have got to this point. This 5 years, 5 years. February 2019 is when I had my first episode of In Your House. Now we are here simultaneously with the 300th episode, and we're continuing to grow, continuing to thrive, and we have the best team that we've ever had here since the conception. It was just me in the beginning, y'all. Just myself and a dream. And now, look where we at, is one of the hottest professional wrestling podcasts for the last 5 years, and I can't do that by myself. Of course, I got to bring in my co-hosts here. I got a couple of my co-hosts here to celebrate this big milestone. Of course, the first one is my co-host of many years now, and that is Hypocrisy Jones. How's it going, brother man?
Yo, what is up, my homie Howse? What is up out there, bro? What is up, household? This is a special day, special episode, special just everything right now. Like 300 years, or not 300 years.
Hey, we going 300 years.
We trying to stay for 300 years.
Yes,
300
sir.
Episodes, 5 years long, man. I ain't been here for the whole 5 years, but man, I've been here for a bit of it, man. And I have enjoyed every bit of it.
Oh man, I appreciate you coming along the ride here. This love for professional wrestling, it's real, bro. This is passion. This is love. This is energy. This is what we bring. This is what I've always set out to do when it comes to this professional wrestling media game, and that's shed light on talent and bring a positive look and a constructive look on professional wrestling. Not just tearing things down just to tear it down, but to dissect it and see how things could be better. And I feel like that we've built that reputation. And of course, we built that reputation of being people who are critical of professional wrestling. We couldn't do that without somebody that's on the inside, having one of the best runs of his career so far. Young career, to be honest, but still a great career as it's been. And that's the other co-host here who just had a big title defense last night at Emerge 75. Diamonds are forever. And that is the world's most dangerous champion, the world's most dangerous podcaster, Paragon. Welcome back to the show, brother.
We're the 300, nigga. If you want the hoe, you better come and get it. 300 episodes, my God. 300 episodes, my God. First and foremost, congratulations. I want to say that to you, from me to you, because you did the damn thing. I know motherfuckers that can't even see their kids 300 times. You out here, they can't even go to work 300 times.
Hell.
Oh, man. Been on 300, so respect. I also appreciate that I am one of the most featured guests on In Your House. Been on the show so goddamn much, they decided to get this spot on the damn show.
Yeah.
You know, I was one of the most downloaded episodes at one point. I got to be a part of the Black Wrestlers Caucus, you know, when we got a bunch of black wrestlers together during the Black Lives Matter movement.
Amazing time.
20. So to see where the podcast has grew from when you and I first met at in Terre Haute back in 2019 to see now where the podcast is here in 2024 and going 300 strong, because I'm sorry, but the Spartans ain't stronger than this damn podcast. You know what I'm saying? So.
Man, I appreciate that. I really do, y'all. Man, it's been a hell of a ride putting this together, and I went into this episode like, because I had a lot of stuff going on. We just had Emerge 75, Diamonds Are Forever. Great event. I mean, I was on the call for that one. Anytime I get a chance to do something for Emerge, it's great. But being out there on that commentary table and getting the best seat of the house to one of the best shows that you're going to see in the Midwest, period, I just feel blessed, and I'm having the time of my life. But for me to say that is to say that I keep myself so busy with work and trying to ascend and trying to continue to build this podcast and build up people around me, because that's what I pride myself on, is trying to be the person that brings the best out of other people no matter what we're doing. And you know, just to be that Jason Kidd, like, let me give you an assist, let me help you, let me make you look better, you know what I'm saying? Like, I always keep that in the back of my mind, and that's what I always try to do and strive for, is to make others look better. I just didn't think, like, I was like, I probably won't be like too emotional, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, I didn't think of, but now being here in this moment, which is of course one of the goals that I've tried to have, is, you know, being more present and in the moment. I'm like, man, we really, we really fucking did that, man. Like, we really sat up here and did 300 episodes, 5 years. People don't do this, y'all. They really don't. Like, I've seen them come and I've seen them go. This is a fast-moving industry. It really is. Professional wrestling media, it's a fast-moving industry. You see people be like, oh, well, I'm going to do a podcast. And, like, yeah, you can get 1 or 2 episodes in, and then you're just like, I just don't got the time for it anymore. Nah, dog, this was a grind. This was a grind. This was work. This was real work that's been put into this, real love, real passion for professional wrestling. And, you know, a lot of people think about podcasters and they're like, oh, they're just trying to get themselves over and they're just trying to put out the ugly side and try to get a headline. Like, nah, one thing I'm proud about this podcast for is that we never sat up here and hoard ourselves out for a headline. You know, we've always been solid with a good rotation of fantastic guests. Like I said, Paragon here. Paragon, one of our featured guests. He was part of our most listened to episode in 2023. You just saw Sam Knight at the top of the episode there. He was our most downloaded guest for back in 2021. You saw the Pope, Elijah Burke, who I've helped construct his podcast from the ground up. Producer of his podcast for 3 years now. 5 years here at In Your House, 3 years as the producer of the Pope's Point of View podcast, which both these podcasts have charted internationally here in the United States. We've been here doing this, just straight grinding and doing work, man. And now I'm seeing these men right here. I'm seeing Hypocrisy Jones. I'm seeing Paragon. And I'm like, these are people that have been riding with me for this journey. And man, while it's been a journey of trials and tribulations, I'm looking and seeing what we've built right now, man. And I gotta say, it's fucking worth it, Hype. I think it's fucking worth it, bro.
Yo, absolutely, man. And this is open. Like it's so weird that this journey that we've been on, because I can remember a long time ago where I was that dude that was like, I want to do a podcast, and then like started doing it, and then linked up with you after hearing what you were doing, and like I can remember the day that like you called me to, like the first day you called me to be on the show, and I was like, I got so geeked because I was like, oh yeah, this is so cool, because I didn't even know you at that time, but I knew you through podcasting. Yeah. And I was so excited just to be a part of this, and to see like where I started and where we are now as a whole, and to see where you started, prior. It's so crazy. This is so crazy, bro. We're doing so many good things. Yo, shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Damian Cole, Roger Pettit, everybody. Keep that chat buzzing, bro. Let us know let us know what you like the most about IYH. Everything that we've been doing here. What has been your favorite thing in the last 300 episodes? We're gonna talk a lot of wrestling today. It's not just self-indulgence, but let us know what you like. Let us know what you don't like. That's what this whole thing's been about from jump. So
absolutely, man.
Con over there emotionally on his Carl Thomas. So emotional.
Oh shit.
Man.
I am, man. I am, man. It's been I could easily say, and we're definitely going to talk, once again, we're going to talk SmackDown. We got a great episode lined up for y'all. We usually do. But I got to say, like, this last 5 years, like, has been some of the most enjoyable years of my entire life. And I mean that sincerely. I've got a chance to meet amazing people like Hype. I got a chance to meet incredibly talented people like my man P over here. And it's like one thing about me, man, is like I never just wanted to be ordinary, like I work with people, and this is just me pulling back the curtain, I work with people, and they're fine people, they're good people, but they're okay with going to work, going home, and just dwindling the days away. And that could just never be me, man. It can never be me to just dwindle the days away. I gotta be around eclectic people that make me think, people that are thought-provoking, people that make me provoke thought, people that help me step my game up so I could be the best version of myself. And damn it, I really feel like that goal has been accomplished with the people that I know now in the wrestling industry, and the people that I've met through the wrestling industry that I consider family now, that are very close to me more than others. People like P, people like Sam Knight, people like the Pope Elijah Burke that I talk to and love and would jump in front of a train for, so this has been an amazing journey to do this, man, to do everything that I've done, to talk to people that I've talked to, people that are on TV now. I didn't see myself doing that, talking to people like Solo Sikoa, talking to people like Austin Theory. It's been just amazing, and I'm blessed. I'm just seriously blessed, and I'm gonna celebrate this episode and celebrate this blessing by talking some professional wrestling. Hey, what's up, guys? This is the producer of Pro Wrestling Hollywood. I want to thank you guys so much for coming through and listening to the 300th episode of In Your House. So many great memories. Guys, we took an early commercial break because we're about to dig deep into SmackDown, The Rock, and Cody, and so much more. So hold your horses real quick, because when we come back, we're going to continue this great discussion. SmackDown, there is a lot to talk about as far as what we gotta break down and what we have time for. Yo, SmackDown, I say it a lot here on the show, but SmackDown was a movie. Yeah, I gotta say, a lot to break down. Hype, you got a chance to check it out and look back at it. What were your thoughts on this past episode of SmackDown as a whole? And then we'll go ahead and break it down.
Well, I mean, we got to talk about it. Like the one thing everybody is talking about, right?
But build to it though. Build to it. Because there was so much going on in SmackDown. Don't give away the cookie just yet. Make them work for it.
I'm not trying to give away the cookie. I just feel like everybody is talking about the whole IYO Bayley thing, and like I feel like we got to start with that, right? Because like because they pulled the trigger on the jump Bayley, and I want to know how y'all feel about that.
I'm gonna go ahead and pass the assist over to my man P here. What's your thoughts on it, bro? I got my thoughts too. I definitely do, but I want to get you in the mix too.
Well, first and foremost, I want to say thank you for stopping through, Damian Cole. You travel safely, and when you hop back on, we'd love to have.
Man, I love DMC. I really do.
Oh yeah. I mean, he was in a neck break last night. You know, had his all neck like this. He was just head and shoulders with no knees and toes. But you know, it's all good. But
Beef got him like a month ago, man. That was rough.
And then Beef tried to get him again. I'm like, Beef need to leave people alone. Okay?
Beef got problems. Like, he is the angriest man in professional wrestling. I don't know if he just couldn't get his pickup truck started in his front yard or anything, but I was like, what?
God, did you say Beef is the angriest man in professional wrestling?
Oh,
do you know who I am?
Yeah, have you met my friend?
I'm sorry. Let me correct myself. Second most angriest man in professional wrestling.
Okay,
I gotta get that right.
To say, I will pull up.
I know you will. I was a prisoner of the moment, I guess. I got to back up.
You know, rewind that. Okay, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I had mixed feelings about it, and it wasn't that I was mad that it happened. Oh, man's name is Beef. I'd be mad too. I mean, we chose that name. That was the name Mama gave. We chose that name. But I had mixed feelings, and the only reason why I had mixed feelings was because I thought we were going to get more time with it. Partially because, you know, different points in wrestling, they aren't telling who they're challenging for Mania until closer to the mid pay-per-view or even after the mid pay-per-view.
And like 6 weeks out, right?
Yeah,
and it's like not only that, but it's like not only was it announced soon, it was announced the Raw and SmackDown after. Now, granted, there's speculation on if Cody actually, you know, announced who he's working with, and there's a whole bunch of different things that they're talking about possibility-wise. But I was like, yo, we're about to build to this Bayley thing, and it felt like I don't want to say they rushed it, but I felt like more time could have been given to it. That's just how I personally feel. But I liked how it was done. I love that it was done cinematically in a way, because you normally see it like in movies. You don't see it in wrestling, where these people are talking shit and they walk away, and then it's like I come into the picture and I heard the whole thing.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
Bayley knowing Japanese.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, I knew what y'all was saying this whole damn time.
Right.
So I like the way it was done. I personally feel like I would have liked if more time was given to it. Because unlike most wrestling fans, I like long-term storytelling. You know?
Me too.
I love long-term storytelling.
Yeah.
But
so Roger here brings up a really good point, and I want to touch on that. He says they had to rush everything to distract from Vinnie Mac news and make people talk about something else. And do you think that was the case in this particular story?
What do you think?
We'll get to other stories, but this particular story.
I feel like if that was the case, it makes sense and it was a smart business plan. Do I think there's a possibility that was the case? Yes. Do I think it was also a possibility that they were trying to get a rating spike? Because sometimes the shows after pay-per-views don't always get the same love as a WrestleMania. And so they were trying to make the night after the Rumble and the SmackDown after the Rumble feel more important, potentially. It could have been a combination of a whole lot of things. So I think, you know, Roger does have a point. And I love how interactive people are being in the chat today. You know,
me too.
Big Raj, I love you. He said he wants to get on the pod. I don't got no problem.
No, we got to make that happen.
Yeah, for sure. He's been wanting to get on for a while. We got to
make that happen. So if we can get him in on a Sunday show or something like that, like we definitely got to make that happen.
Yeah, I agree.
Most definitely. But to wrap things up on my thing, I think how it was done was beautiful. Do I wish more time was given to it? Yes. Do I understand potentially the reasons why it wasn't? Of course. But I think organically they made it a way where Bayley could turn face, but I still do feel like there's work that needs to be done. And I only say that because Bayley went from being the babyface in all of WWE to getting called up to the main roster, and I don't know if it was a matter of it was a thing that only worked in developmental and main roster was a different beast, or if they simply did not know how to handle Bayley once got into the main roster. But then she became the heel.
Right.
And she was holding it down during pandemic era. Like, she was amazing. And so for me, I feel like she did such a great job as a heel, and people want her to be face again. I still think there's going to be work that needs to be done to solidify her back into that baby face, the baby face status. But I'm here for it. I'm looking forward to it, because if anybody can do it, it's Bayley.
Absolutely. Do you guys think that they push the story now to where they are now because they're going to introduce new people? Are we going to have some more debuts come? Bayley have more help, sort of thing. Do you think that's a possibility?
Well, I mean, I think that we're starting to see some of these debuts come to fruition on WWE. One theme that I noticed throughout the night, and we'll definitely get back to Bayley, one theme that I noticed throughout the night is that we saw a lot of people willing and dealing with Adam Pearce and with Nick Aldis. We know Tiffany Stratton, she debuted against Michin Mia Yim. Braun Breaker is somebody who's still up in the air. You know, Jade Cargill, they're showing appearances of Jade Cargill and who and what's next. So I think we are starting to see these new faces. As far as Bayley goes, I think it's going to be a situation where we could see somebody pop in to help her out. I'm not sure if it would be somebody like a Sasha Banks, which would be the ideal one just because of their history. But of course, there's rumors that she's supposed to be going to AEW, so really can't bring that into play right now and say that that's most definitely in play. But somebody. Naomi's still there, looming around. She's on SmackDown, which is great to see her back. We kind of expected that reports that she would be back, so it could be her. But I like what's happening with Bayley. This turn has been organic, and I think that even though it happened kind of in a shotgun a little bit, as far as what we saw Friday night, it like, oh, well, all of a sudden, boom, now we all know that that the Kabuki Warriors and IYO have been talking mess about her. But if you really pay attention, there have been those moments where it felt like that they were saying this and saying that. And I don't know about y'all, but you know, being from LA, you be around a lot of Hispanic people, and you know, you'll go to the corner store or something like that, and you'll see, you know, the Arab people and whatnot. And I can tell you that they will sit up there and talk about you in their native language. And you can kind of tell that they're doing it because they'll be looking at you and laughing and whatnot, but you can't understand what they're saying. So I could definitely can see how, I don't know, that I guess I related to that in that way because I've had that happen to me before. But I like how that came apart. And then how P was talking about how they kind of brought the camera over and boom, Bayley's right there. And you've even seen it on the internet, bro. Like, she's been, the look on her face, I was like, I even fell for Bayley. I was like, oh no, not Bayley. What? Like, she just looked so, down. And, I think that what's happening organically with Bayley is that even though she is still playing the heel, I think people are starting to take notice as far as what she's doing in terms of building up other talent and bringing talent to light. And there's this organic thing happening with Bayley where it's like, you know what? I know she's the heel and we're supposed to hate her because she's, calling the crowd idiots and she's doing dastardly things. But I think there's this natural love for Bayley because we still harken back to the side ponytail and the hugger days and whatnot. But now we're seeing her be considered, what I consider personally is one of the most unselfish people in professional wrestling right now. And I just think that transition to babyface is going to be very, very smooth. I think that, like I said, you brought up who could help her out. I don't really know who could help her out besides somebody like a Naomi right now, but I think that what's happening with Bayley is that she's somebody who can end up standing on her own as a top babyface. And I think what's going to happen is she'll stand tall at WrestleMania and have that moment.
I think, though, you brought up a point about people connecting with it. Because, she went from calling people idiots. I don't think it's even a matter of just the side ponytail Bayley. I think people can relate to backstabbers. People can relate to people who are supposed to be your friends, and you hear them talking behind your back, and you feel like they're setting you up for failure. You feel like, they on that crap. And I feel like people can relate to that because so many people have been in that situation where people who are supposed to be on your team and on your side are fighting against you. Personally, I don't think Bayley should get help. And the reason why I say that is because, like I said, there's work to be done. Bayley got to go through something.
Yeah, yep.
You just set a Royal Rumble record. You won the Royal Rumble. You're doing all these things. So you're getting some nice stroke right now. I think Bayley needs to go through something. I think Bayley needs to struggle. I think Bayley needs to go through the different people of Damage Control, and she has to take on the monster she created.
Well, I think maybe that's why they did this run right now, this switch right now. We have about 6 weeks till WrestleMania or something like that. So all 5 members of Damage Control until she gets to the big boss, we'll see week by week her probably knock down one by one or one by two. Or
I see Bjork said something. They said Bayley's announcement felt too overshadowed with Cody pushing his announcement to Friday. Also, ever since the Kabuki Warriors joined with them, they have been talking behind Bayley the whole time. And I mean, that's a good point too.
Yeah.
The moment Asuka joined, you're like, oh, they're going to be stronger, but something kind of fell off.
Asuka was the poison almost.
And then, I mean, but you're right, the one with the poison mist being the poison. Don't you think that there's something to be said there? And then, out of nowhere, Kairi Sane pops up, and that was done without Bayley's knowledge.
Yep.
So, who's really pulling the strings behind all this, though? Is it IYO or is it Dakota?
I think it's Dakota Kai.
If it's Dakota Kai, because she's tried to stay neutral this whole time, it's got to be Dakota Kai. You want her to be... that would be best for her because it's like, oh my God, she's been this dastardly motherfucker this whole time. If you want to make Dakota Kai, she got to be the one. That's just my thoughts.
I love that just because of the fact that, like... she's been so underseen and underutilized, but doing stuff in the background, right? This entire time, like you guys said, Bayley building up people. This entire time has been Bayley building up this group. The addition of Asuka and Kairi, she's not really going to build Asuka any more than what Asuka is, right?
No.
But and Kairi already had a decent name as well, but with the work that she's doing with IYO and what potentially may happen out of Dakota Kai, really masterful work. So hopefully this holds strong. I think this, part of me says that this is going to lead to a short title reign for Bayley, but it's going to be impactful, if that makes sense.
See, Roger said the same thing I'm thinking. He says Kai cost Bayley the title at Mania to set up a program. I don't think Bayley wins at Mania. I think Bayley's about to win at Mania, and either Kai has stayed neutral the whole time, or something happens where we don't hear from Kai for a while. It's just social media, maybe video, promo clips, whatever like that. And I think Kai costs Bayley.
I
like it, man.
I can definitely see that too.
For me, I always feel like I'm trapped in this mindset that WrestleMania is the season finale, and then after that it's the new season or whatnot. But you can see stories begin at WrestleMania and continue throughout the year. I mean, we kind of saw that a little bit with John Cena and The Rock when they set up their twice in a lifetime match and whatnot, and
right.
and you can see that. But I do think that we got to start being in the mindset that even though WrestleMania could be the culmination of some stories, it could be the beginning of others. And I think that there's something there for Dakota Kai to screw Bayley, almost do it in a way where how Solo has been, that main factor, and he cost Cody. It was the guy who cost Cody, and just have Dakota Kai, and there has to be this deep-rooted hatred, the one person that after everything I thought was on my side is the one who screwed me. Bayley has got a story arc right now where we could see the most dangerous Bayley, I believe.
I like it, and I don't care, I've never wanted to see Hugger Bayley again. Because it wouldn't make sense as she's grown, but to see whatever iteration of this Bayley comes out of this, whether she's heel, face, or just tweener the entire time, I'm excited to see what she does with this, because she's going to evolve into something else.
Yes, and that's what it's all about, evolution, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, like I want to see that next level and what you can do. It's just like when everybody was wanting Sami Zayn to be El Generico in NXT when he got signed, and I totally get the excitement about it. There were so many. I remember that time because everybody was so pissed that he didn't get a chance to go there in his mask and be El Generico, and now look what he's turned into. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If he was El Generico, we might never got an honorary Uce. You know, so you got to see the evolution. What are you thinking, P? As somebody who is been masterful in evolving himself in his career, what do you think about the evolution of Bayley?
It was necessary. First and foremost, evolution in wrestling is necessary. Think of any of your favorite wrestlers or the greats or whatever. There are very few that haven't evolved or at least have attempted to try something new. Like, you can't name one wrestler. Rocky Maivia became The Rock. Terror Rising became Hunter Hearst Helmsley, became Triple H. You know, Shawn Michaels went from The Rocker to the Heartbreak Kid. Undertaker,
Stunning Steve Austin
became Superstar Steve Austin. Became the Ringmaster.
Right.
Became Stone Cold Steve Austin. Okay, then we keep going. Kane the Undertaker. No, Mean Mark Calloway became Kane the Undertaker. Became the Undertaker, who was first he was just the scary, Undertaker mortician, Gravedigger. Then he became the undead zombie. Then he became the literal devil. Then he became motorcycle riding American badass. Then became an undead
loves
zombie.
Kid Rock.
Then became like I'm kind of the undead zombie, but I'm also the biker badass. K-Quick became Ron the Truth Killer, became R-Truth, and he even became I'm rapping and dancing R-Truth to there's a conspiracy against me, then Lil Jimmy to who we have now. There is not a single wrestler that you know of that did not go through some growth period, who did not go through some evolution. And sometimes it takes longer in a certain area before you can grow. I mean, because Mercedes Moné had to be Sasha Banks first, and she had to be who she was before Sasha Banks. But through our eyes and through our scope, she went from the manager / sidekick who couldn't get a win to then she became the boss who was tearing it up in NXT, who then became the person we love so much and in WWE, then became the blueprint Sasha Banks, and now she is Mercedes Moné. So it's just like, there's so many ways that in wrestling, if you don't evolve, you perish. If you don't grow, you get left behind. And the thing is, I think, and I'm saying this to any indie wrestler who may look at this, you are doing a lot of times what's comfortable for you and what's safe. You are afraid to fail. You're afraid to mess up. That discomfort that you're feeling about trying something new is called growing pains. Because without that discomfort, you cannot grow. Without that struggle, without that pain, you cannot grow. But once you grow into what you're supposed to be. You blossom, okay? You have to deal with those growing pains in order to become who you are supposed to and who you want to be. And I feel like we got to see that, especially with Bayley. Because when Bayley came to the main roster, there was growing pains. Everybody who was an NXT fan thought she was just going to go up there and she was going to be the new John Cena. And then she went up there, and I felt like a lot of people were like, damn. And when I say new John Cena, I mean like the undeniable babyface. But we thought it was going to happen like undeniable, but she's going to actually be over with the fans and the kids and the this and the that. It's not going to be a let's go Bayley sucks like we had with Cena. And growing pains, struggle, strife, things not working. And then finally, Bayley came back and said, she was on her ice cube. She said, fuck all of y'all. God damn, I'm glad y'all said it all. Like, and she was on it because of those growing pains. I feel it's necessary. Evolve or perish. Take that from somebody who kept evolving myself. And some of the reasons why I had to evolve in wrestling, because people kept stealing my shit. So it's like, you got to evolve.
Damn. All right, you talking about your brother right now? Like, is this the beef we talking about?
See, and that's the most recent case, okay? Because I didn't have people steal my shit where they were stealing my looks, they were stealing my gimmicks, they were stealing my moves. And here's what I say about stealing, okay? Like, yes, there is nothing original under the sun. But when somebody is doing something and making it as original as possible and as creative as possible, and you don't see anybody else doing it, why is the mindset always, I like that, let me do that too? Have your own shit.
Yeah.
Like, and my thing is also, if I pay for something, like if I pay for the copyright and the licensing of a design that I wear, don't steal my shit and just switch my logo out for yours. That's thievery.
Thievery.
You a whole theft.
I don't want to bypass theft and grand larceny and felonies or felonious acts. But what you were saying about your evolution thing, I feel like what you're saying overall is that no one ever finishes their story. Am I right?
What I'm saying is no one ever finished growing. And the reason why I say that is because when it comes to stories, a lot of times people think finishing their story is finishing the book, not realizing they're just finishing a chapter. I mean, I can give you an example of my story. All the shit that I had to go through to beat Daniel Leeds, to become a Merge champion, from my debut saying I want all the gold and saying I want to become a Merge heavyweight champion, I debuted at Emerge in 2019. So to debut and Emerge in 2019, and it took me almost 5 years to finally have that come to fruition. Now, mind you, I did have the Outbreak Championship. I was undefeated for 3 years. I was doing the damn thing. But think about that. It took me 5 years just to complete that chapter, to complete that narrative. And yes, one could argue you finished the story, but I feel like sometimes we're not finishing the story, we're finishing chapters. Because until your career is over, until you die, or until certain things are no longer able to be in your possession, like for instance, I had this whole beef with Daniel Leeds. If I was not able to not only win the championship, but beat him to win it, then yes, one could argue I didn't get to finish my story. But the thing is, it wasn't just beating Daniel Leeds. Now I have to defend that championship. Yep. Now I have to defend it, but now I have to be a good champion. I have to be a worthy champion. I still have wrongs I need to right, because whether I like it or not, the last time I faced Braden, even though I was the last person to beat him, I had Con and Sam out there, doing parlays and whatnot. I had to be able to say I beat Braden, I was the one to beat him, and I did it myself. I mean, shoot, maybe Beef gets an opportunity at the title. Maybe Calvin Tankman gets an opportunity at the title. Maybe Jordan Cage gets an opportunity at the title. There are so many people that I'm going to have to cross paths with, because during my Outbreak title reign, one could argue, even if I wanted to do it on my own, I had assistance. I had help. I had people out there. Shoot, as much as I love my brother, PB and I were arguing at the table last night at Merch about how you cheated to beat me. You cheated to beat me. I did not cheat. The referee said that you hit me with a chair. So it's like,
I remember that match.
So it's like you gotta sometimes finish your chapters in order to be able to finish your story.
Yeah, I don't think stories ever finish, because there could always be a second book or a second movie or a second part, right? I know that's just extended chapters, but I just wanted to say that to parlay us to this.
Council. Roman, one of the individuals I talked to, he knows you very well.
I was hoping when you were going to wait because there's still so much to talk about. But
I know. Look, I'm being selfish right now. I know there's a lot to talk about, but I have a hard time to get out of here, and it's coming up on that time, and I couldn't miss the opportunity for us to talk about this because we got to talk about this, right? I don't want to say I told everybody so, but like I feel like I've been telling y'all like it's gonna be Roman and Rock, and Roman's about to pass Hogan on this all-time list, and look, hypocrisy Damas over here just been telling y'all the WWE playbook. I should be getting residuals at the moment. I'm just saying, watch they pull up with Seth Gunther.
Oh man,
line. Look, before we get into it, the one thing I just want to say really, really quick is when Roman does go to Hollywood, I really mean this. I hope he does not become an action star because his facials are way too good to be regulated to either action star status. Because my worry is somebody's going to see those facials and they're going to Ryan Reynolds his ass and make him the buff comedy actor. And the thing is, it's like either they're going to tell him reduce your facials and be stoic, or they're going to say use those facials, but now we're putting you in action comedies. And I feel like if they put him in the right acting classes, Roman can do some real shit.
Oh, for real.
Just based off of those facials he does alone. But that's what I wanted to add.
No, you're 100% dead ass.
On point. On point. Man, I got to tell you, when I saw that Cody came out, and I thought for sure, he talked about, wanting the championship that Bruno Sammartino held, wanting the championship that his father held in his hands and then got taken back from him. I really thought that was the route that he was going when I was watching it, and he was talking about the person I talked to that I got counsel from is somebody you know very well, and I thought everybody was going to turn around and look at Paul for a second. I even told my wife, I was like, "Oh, Paul been talking to Cody behind Tribal Chief's back," and then boom, The Rock's music hit, and I was like, okay, this went in a whole different direction than I was thinking initially. Like, I had read earlier that he was around in the area, he was there, and that he might pull up. So I wasn't shocked. I wasn't completely shocked to see him, but I just thought when he said the word counsel and somebody you know really well, I just thought my mind went right to Paul. But yeah, to see Rock come out, I'm like, uh-oh. And I was excited to see him because I'm a Rock guy. I like Rock. I love Rock. Grew up watching him and whatnot, so I got that connection to him. So he comes out and
That's my dad. Or am I imagining your dad? Like, for real.
He comes out, and him and Cody have some words and whatnot. What I do like about this, and we're going to break down whether you like Rock being in that spot or you want Cody to be in that spot or blah, blah, blah. But what I liked about this in the moment was that there was actually no words exchanged between Rock and Roman. It kind of left us on a cliffhanger, which I like that because it reminded me of SmackDowns of old when I was young about a cliff. I'm like, I don't want to hear these guys talk right now. Let them have that moment, and then you got to make us wait a week now. So I like that. But yeah, Hype, what was you thinking? Cause I know you got thoughts on it, you got a slide. What was you thinking about the whole moment with Rock and Roman, and what do you think we're leading to as far as that?
So I watched this back a couple times. And I kind of saw the I didn't told you, I saw the writing on the wall, and this is what I wanted anyways. This is my Batista moment. Give me what I want. Give me what I want. Give me what I want. This is what I wanted. My first thought and reaction, though, is that one of Cody's quote quotables is, "I'm not going after this at WrestleMania." Now, that doesn't mean that he's not going to try to go after it before WrestleMania, and that doesn't. It also could mean that it could be after WrestleMania, SummerSlam sort of thing, which in my mind, I'm pushing the Survivor Series, but for selfish reasons, you guys know why. Fuck Hogan. Like, that's what I'm thinking in my head. I don't know how this plays out because ultimately, Cody is a dirty politician. So he did some backroom deep, huh? He's Homelander. He is Homelander. So like, ultimately, they had to do some backdoor deals to make this happen, and I think the story is going to continue to play out. I don't know if this is the theme of today, but I don't think the story ever finishes, bro. There's always more layers. There's always more chapters. There's always more shit to do.
So Bjork is in the chat, and he's saying that he feels like Rock should have been in the Rumble. He's feeling like, what was the point of Cody winning if he's not going to go after something? And you know what? Here's my 2 cents. I'm going to put my 2 cents in your pocket real quick. Did Cody ever say he was wrestling Seth or challenging Seth?
No,
he
didn't.
He did not confirm that.
So because he didn't say that he's challenging Seth, you know what he could easily do? We could get Rock versus Roman night 1. And then Roman wins. And after Roman wins, Cody comes out and says, did you really think I wasn't going to have my WrestleMania moment? I'll see you tomorrow night, Roman. And we could still get Cody having his WrestleMania moment. And we could still get Cody having his WrestleMania moment the very next day, and we can have him finish the story there. I know Pac doesn't like that because he wants it to Survivor Series.
Right.
But that's a possibility. Also, once again, I
just ain't losing my head yet over this Cody shit. I'm just saying. Like, I ain't losing my head.
And I know
Fuck
people
Hogan,
are like, oh, well, the WWE Championship is what he's talking about, not the World Heavyweight Championship. Well, what Cody is talking about is holding a world title in the WWE. So if he does challenge Seth, we talk about finishing stories. There is a story there. And if he chose to face him, it probably speaks to the fact of, hey, you compelled me with that promo you had, Seth. And on top of that, I don't know who would be mad about getting, especially now that Mania is 2 days, who is mad about getting 3 male world titles defended over 2 days? It's a possibility. On top of that, Cody may be setting a new precedent. Maybe Cody does challenge at SummerSlam or whatever like that. Maybe Cody is trying to use the Royal Rumble as like a Money in the Bank like stipulation. I'm not saying it's a good idea or a bad idea. What I'm saying is wrestling fans are too quick to be mad.
Dirty politician.
For
doing anything.
For years, we said that we wanted Roman versus Rock. And last year, even when Cody was trying to finish his story, people were begging The Rock to come back and ignore Cody's story. And now, y'all feel different? It's this same crap when Batista won the Royal Rumble and they were like, no, Roman should have won. Okay, he can win next year. Why'd you make Roman win? We didn't want him to win. It makes you look fickle as wrestling fans.
Yeah,
it makes you look like you don't like wrestling. You like being justified or satisfied. And it's a problem because though I love wrestling, sometimes wrestling fans truly kill me.
Yeah.
And I know you got to go soon, Pac, but
I hate that he's got to go.
I know, because we're really going at it.
Yeah, we're cooking.
I know. I got some other stuff I got cooking. Y'all know how I am, man.
Sure.
My hand is in so many pots, even some pots I'm not supposed to be in and stuff. If you know, you know. But I got some stuff brewing with the Kokomo Press. But right now I got some stuff brewing with my lovely fiance Kim the Chemist. We're about to do a whole transformation video, so I got to get ready to go do that. I'm excited to do that. Look out for that on her page. Look out for me. Yo, my name is Hypocrisy Jones. You can find me literally anywhere you can spell that, bro. And you can also find me right here on In Your House and at the Kokomo Press. We're doing some big things with the Kokomo Press. We got some big things going. We just announced that we are going to have weekly open mic comedy sessions at Cooper's Pub in Kokomo, Indiana. So we are very, very excited about that.
Cold.
If you're in the Kokomo area or Central Indiana, Midwest area, come through, slide through. It's going to be a fun time. On top of those, we're going to be doing like quarterly showcase shows. So like if you're in the world of comedy, you want to like practice your stuff, come practice it with us, and then we'll put you on a show, bro. Like that's how this stuff works. We're just trying to put people on. But anyways, I hate to leave, but I gotta go do my things, I love y'all's faces. Paragon, you're my future best friend. I love you, man. I'm so happy that you defended your Emerge Heavyweight Championship last night. I'm so sad that I couldn't be there, but man, I know you did your thing. And Hollywood, bro, you're my dog, bro. 300 episodes. I can't believe we did this. I can't believe I'm a part of this, bro. Like, this is crazy, yo. But I love y'all.
Hey, man, we love you too, man. Slide on out of here. We're going to continue this, and we're going to get back to talking a little of SmackDown. My man in the world's most dangerous podcaster, Paragon, and I staying with the whole situation with Cody and with Roman and with The Rock. Grundmeister here was saying we might be playing regular chess while Triple H is playing 4D chess, and you kind of touched on something, P, a little bit earlier. How crazy would it be if they did what you said and they did Rock and Roman night 1 and then they did Roman and Cody night 2? So that and he ends up dropping it night 2, and for me that would make sense because it would be Cody. It would almost give Roman an out because he would be like, "Oh, I was fatigued from wrestling 2 nights in a row." Blah blah blah. But like, where would you put Roman on your list of like overall like greatness if he actually did wrestle both nights at WrestleMania?
I mean, I don't know if it would change his greatness for me in wrestling. I think caliber of matches he has may do something like that, but I think that would be a great way to wrap up his story. To be able to say Roman went out and he went out after defending his championship back-to-back nights at Mania. It wasn't I defended it at Mania and then Raw and lost. No, it's I defended it at Mania night 1, Mania night 2. And after going toe-to-toe with a wrestling legend and somebody who I'm family with, and after going toe-to-toe with him, and I beat him to prove I was still the head of the table, to then be worn down and worn out and beat up, and Cody's pretty much like, yeah, I'm on your ass tomorrow. I think if he can have a classic with The Rock, because Rock's last match was like 3-5 seconds with like Eric Rowan.
Yeah.
His match before that, he tore his abdomen off the bone. I would love for him to be able to get his redemption match, even if it is him going out on his back. And I would love Roman to be able to have a classic with his family, and then very next night, do the damn thing. I do believe that Roman is amazing. I feel like people use the term so loosely, generational talent. I feel like, to quote Shannon Sharp, he's a virtuoso. But no, I feel like Roman is on his way of, if he doesn't finish top 3, definitely finishing top 5 all time. I don't think Roman gets those the top 2 spots. No fault of his own, just a matter of the generation he was born in. I feel like wrestling nostalgia is very it's very hard to even get into the top 3, let alone break the top 2. For me personally, I feel like he is a modern day GOAT. I would probably say he has been the GOAT of the last 20 years. Like, I would say, and this is somebody who's a huge Eddie Guerrero fan, and Mark, I would say that there is nobody probably from 2004 on who has done what Roman has done, and that is even including John Cena, that is including Bryan Danielson / Daniel Bryan, because Roman has been a needle mover. And I mean, that's even me kind of calling out Punk. I feel like if you look at the last 20 years, you have to say Roman, if he's not number 1, you can't say he's lower than 2. Whereas, you go before 2004 and it's like, okay, well, now we got, Rock, we got Austin, we have Hogan, whether you like him or not, we have Flair. And so I feel like if you stop basing GOATs overall, and if you can base GOATs off of generations, then yes, you could say Roman's the GOAT of his generation. But we're not in that. We can't even let LeBron be the GOAT of his generation, because we always got to bring up the Jordan debate and somehow try to hurt LeBron's legacy, or try to hurt Jordan's legacy because we want to bring up Wilt, or we want to bring up, don't do this to me, Bill Russell,
yeah,
or we want to bring up Kareem. And it's like, why can't we just have generational GOATs? Why does it have to be, who is literally the greatest of all time, any generation? Right. Dead or alive, hands down, whatever. And I believe, though, and I say this with my full chest, if Roman produces the way I think and I hope he will with both The Rock and Cody, if he can let his match with Rock be very story heavy, and if it can be story heavy and spot heavy, and then his match with Cody can be story heavy, spot heavy, workhorse, match classic, even a little bit of indie-rific, Roman will definitely solidify himself as a wrestling and WrestleMania juggernaut that no one can compare to.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, he's been, and it's weird. It's almost like it's almost like they're hitting all the right buzzwords with some of their guys, because he has been literally operating on a different level from the guy that he used to be, that we all used to. I remember those days. It was post-Shield. He was protected pretty well in the Shield. Him being in there made so much sense. But then after that, and everybody kind of broke up, he kind of just kept the whole Shield attire and just switched it with the double R, and then kept the Shield theme and just took out the Sierra, India, Echo, and took all that out. And it was just like, it was just so generic and not well thought out. But then we got a chance to see this once again. I feel like it's thematic of this episode a little bit, the evolution of Roman Reigns and who he could become. And if you really paid attention to Roman Reigns' career, I know I have. I remember watching him back in his Liaki days with NXT FCW, and then he went to this It's My Time, it's my time, wearing the suits and whatnot as Roman Reigns, and saying how valuable his time was or whatever. It's a combination of the badass that they built him on the WWE level, combination of that, a little bit of that NXT character that he played, where his time was valuable, and I think that he kind of played into that. What I do want to talk about a little bit more as we go into it, because we can't just graze over this. That's why we got to keep this episode going here, and I got the world's most dangerous podcaster with me. Man, Roman ain't had no business cooking Seth the way that he did Friday night.
Yes, he did.
That was unnecessary, bro.
No,
come on.
No, it wasn't. He could have went harder. On mamas, he could have went harder.
My God.
People in wrestling get mad at me when I say this. Wrestling needs to be more like boxing and UFC when it comes to I am being disrespectful.
Yeah.
I know in wrestling we're like, build your opponent up, because when you build them up and you beat them, then at least you beat them, whatever. Like, nah, sometimes you just got to be like, look, at the end of the day, your biggest mistake was being born in my generation. Honestly, you should have been swallowed. I'm waiting for someone to say something like that. I'm waiting for someone to tell another wrestler you should have been swallowed. Just swalla-la-la, drink. Swalla-la-la, swalla-la-la, swalla-la-la. Have you ever been swallowed up? Swallowed up. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for someone to get disrespectful. It needs to happen. Somebody needs to be a full-on menace. And Roman was a full-on menace because, you know what? We were talking more about what Roman said than Seth said, aren't we?
Boom. He cooked him, bro. He straight up there and cooked that boy, bro. That was ridiculous the way that he did that boy. He sat up here and was like, oh, a workhorse don't sit up here and walk like this, and started limping. And I was like, boy, if you don't sit
you
your
wrestle
ass
more than I do, but I make more money than you do. I'm like, who's going in?
I was like, bro, would you? He asked the crowd, bro. He asked the crowd, you trying to make Seth Rollins money, or you want to make Roman Reigns money? He said that, and I was like, damn, I like you, Seth, but he making points, bro. Like, oh my God, like the way that he eviscerated that man was absolutely just ugly and gross and disgusting.
I just heard boom, boom. Like, I thought they was playing the ether in the background after a while.
Oh my God. I really thought you was gonna have Red Man pop up in the background and be like, get him! Get him! It's wild. I'm like, yo, listen, Roman was an absolute menace. This is exactly why he is who he is. This is why this is why I love Roman, man. Like, I know that it's taboo to say, oh, I'm a fan of the greats while they're being great, because then you're just a bandwagoner or yada yada blah blah blah. Like, no, man, like I really
I was a fan of that generic Roman you were talking about. Like, you were like, he was generic. I'm like, I mean, I like that Roman. I thought that Roman was pretty dope.
But here's the thing though, bro, like with me, it's peaks and valleys, bro. Like, I'll always love you, especially if I came up at the dirt with you. Like, and I felt like I invested a lot of time into Roman from watching him way back then, and then seeing everything that he's done, whether I've liked it or whether I've hated it. I just feel like riding with Roman the way that I have. It's great to see him on this next level right now. So for that reason, I'm always gonna be a Roman fan because of that ride that I took with him. It's just great to see him in this greatness, but man, he was absolutely just in a completely different bag. He deserves to be where he's at. The things that he's doing it's deserved. It's warranted.
Now he beating motherfuckers. That's all I gotta say. He beat cancer, and now he's beating motherfuckers. But I will say this,
come on.
A lot of people bring up, oh, Roman left the Shield and he was still doing the Shield stuff. But let's be honest. That's normal in wrestling. It's normal in wrestling for a team or a group to break up and one of them keeps, the look or whatever.
The gimmick.
We're not used to the one who keeps the look and the music being the successful one. There's only one case I can think of in wrestling where one of them left the group and you're quote unquote the successful one. And I would probably say that was Jeff Hardy. Because when Matt left, he became Matt Hardy version 1.
Yeah,
he changed the look completely. Whereas Roman leaves the Shield, he keeps the look. Seth changes the look, but still has influences of it. Dean changes the look, but still has influences of it. Because no one wants to talk about how there still was influences of it. Yeah. I think the issue was they felt that Seth and Dean went big enough that you can see the influences, but it wasn't as blatant as Roman's was.
Yeah.
But I'm still like, I felt like that's normal. It's normal for someone to keep it. I mean, you could argue Jay is currently in that same mindset because it's a similar song, just with slight differences. But at the same time, though, his entrance and his entrance moves are different. Also, on top of that, Jimmy is still somewhat looking the same. His entrance is completely different now. But I think we have grown accustomed to the Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
And we got accustomed to the Booker T's. We got accustomed to seeing guys drop the old stuff completely and shoot off and skyrocket to success. And so seeing the opposite of it, I think that's why it makes us feel like it's generic. But no, like you're saying, Roman is on God mode.
Yeah. Yeah, he really is, man. And he's on that different level. We're loving to see it here, everything that's going on with the big things happening on SmackDown. I really thought this was a really good episode of SmackDown. I really did. And not just for the reasons... Not just for the reasons... Man, that's what I'm saying. Not just for the reasons that we already talked about. I mean, there's still a little bit to talk about because this was a great episode of SmackDown in my eyes. You had Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate defeated Pretty Deadly, the LWO, and Legado del Fantasma in a fatal 4-way tag team qualifier to get an opportunity to face the tag team champions, of course, Judgment Day at the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, PLE, in Australia, and you got a chance to see Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate really grow into who Pete Dunne can be, and I thought that was a good match. I thought it was fun. And what are you thinking, man? You're seeing this evolution here of Tyler Bate now has found his groove, tag teaming up with Pete Dunne on the SmackDown brand there. What are you thinking, man, as far as these tag teams are starting to come together here?
I think it's funny because it's like we've been talking about evolution, and it's like Tyler Bate went from black trunks and I think it was like the white boots, no knee pads, very simple. He was somebody who I'm just so good at wrestling that makes me charismatic, and I'm just so good at wrestling I don't have to do much. And granted, I think along the way somebody told him that's not enough, or at least not here. Yeah. And he's grown into his own, and then with Pete Dunne went from the Bruiserweight to Butch back to Pete Dunne. But the thing is, I feel like him turning into Butch was necessary.
And he took that like a champ. I just got to throw that in there. He took that change like a champ.
And it added another layer. It added another, character thing, and then he was able to fuse those two together to the Pete Dunne he is now. And I think having him in his tag team is great. Also, I this may be speculation, but I believe there might have been a situation of when he got called up to the main roster, it might have been a copyright issue. It might have been WWE maybe wanted to own the rights to his name, and that's why he became Butch. Like he may have chose that name from my belief and understanding. I think what ends up happening is because Keith Lee had a similar thing where WWE wanted to own the rights to Keith Lee's name. He's like, this is my government,
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people get mad about the Butch because they're like, oh, we want Pete Dunne, but it kind of goes back to that whole like El Generico thing. Okay, so if he ever gets released, he can never go back to El Generico.
Yeah.
If they use it and they own the rights to it and stuff. Like I believe people talk about, oh, Ricochet needs to leave WWE, whatever. First of all, he's comfortable there. He's enjoying the money he's making, and he also is probably enjoying the fact that he can be Ricochet because once he leaves, he may not be allowed to use that name anymore unless he can buy it out or whatever. I don't know if he owns it or if WWE owns it, but you get what I'm saying. I love seeing the evolution. I love seeing these two as a team together because it definitely got us Tyler Bate on the main roster, something I have wanted for probably 5+ years now. I'll probably say it's more than 5 years. I wanted Tyler Bate on the main roster the moment he lost the title to Gunther. No, he lost it to Pete Dunne. The moment he lost it to Pete Dunne, I wanted him to do a brief stint in NXT and then head up to the main roster. But no, I feel like this episode was a lot about seeing the importance of evolution in wrestlers. And I also enjoyed seeing, Tiffany Stratton doing her damn thing. But my question is, how are you feeling about the evolution of both Tyler and Pete?
As far as I'm seeing it, I like it. You got of course they did that promo a couple weeks ago where they're in the coffee shop, which I want to bring another promo up here in a second because I'm really loving what they're doing, this backstage stuff. That's big for me. But to stay on topic here, I like what they're doing. I really feel like that it's going to be a great opportunity. I could definitely see them wrestling in Australia for the titles, and they won't win, but it'll definitely be like a chance to get them in there, and they probably want a lot of international talent at that Australia show. I think that'll be great. But I like what they can build together. I really like them tag teaming together. That could possibly lead to also them splitting apart and just having these banger matches on a more mainstream stage. So I would be looking forward to them tag teaming up for a while, just for them to split at some point, and then have these matches that you've seen over on like the UK and bring it here. I want to see it. I think a lot of people will want to see it. So as far as that, I once again, great that they're teaming, but if it was up to me, it would be short term, and then just let them just beat the shit out of each other and have great matches that you can see at maybe WrestleMania, or maybe even if you go past that, your Backlash. Just depends on when you want to do it, if you want to do a post WrestleMania. But I think that's something that's there, and it could build with them being together as they are right now. So I talked about the backstage promos and whatnot, and I know for a fact, we've talked about this many times, you're a huge Santos Escobar fan, and for good reason. I really like what he brings to the table. We have Legado del Fantasma, and you have Angel and Berto, who's now the other two members. I kind of flip things a little bit, which is interesting. I like what they're doing as far as that goes, and I think it makes sense. They've got a lot invested into Berto and Angel, so they really want to try to make them work and boot them up. So it makes sense, and I think that they're a little bit more character driven. They've done a lot of character work in the past, whether it be going against each other or tag teaming up with each other. We saw a backstage.
Real life cousins, right?
What's that?
Humberto and Angel are real life cousins, right?
Oh yeah, I know. Yes, they're real
also
life.
Enough. They're both named Humberto.
Crazy.
That's why Angel goes by Angel, because it's like we can't both be Humberto.
Yeah, exactly. But they were backstage, and I gotta say they've been doing this a lot, and I'm not sure if because there's been speculation that it's Jeremy Borash that's producing these backstage segments. Legado had a great backstage promo where they're sharing some where they were sharing some wine, and they were talking about family, and they were talking about eradicating the LWO, this war that we've kind of seen. We've seen Elektra Lopez jump into the fray. She was there now too. As a fan of Santos and as a fan of Legado del Fantasma, and also somebody who likes well done production and professional wrestling, myself as well. What did you think about that backstage segment with Santos and Legado?
I honestly think this is a paramount showcase of what is to come with WWE, because we're getting these beautifully filmed backstage segments, or these promo, these offset things, and I feel like these are the type of things that people need to be paying attention to. People are so quick to, Triple H needs to retire because of this booking choice, whatever, and I'm like, but do you see the production? Do you see the effort? Do you see some of these things going on? And then the fact that they gave that spot to Legado, to me, that's really, really dope. Because I'm a fan of the LWO. I mean, I've been following Toro since the Cruiserweight Classic. I've been following Joaquin back when he was Zema Ion.
Yeah, I remember that.
The TNA Impact Wrestling days. Yeah. You know how I feel about Santos. I actually got to be on a show and meet Carlito, and Carly is a dope person.
Yeah, Carlito's cool. I've met him before too.
Taller in person than I realized when I met him for the first time. I'm like, man, you big. So it's just like there's a lot of things that I love that's going on with this storyline, and I'm really hoping that it builds to a Mania match. I would love to see Legado versus LWO, and I feel like it could be a trios banger, because I would love for it to be under trios rules instead of a 6-man tag.
Yeah,
I feel like that would be a great match for Mania, because that type of match in Mania where you're getting casual fans, hardcore fans, and then you're getting people who kind of need something fast-paced to get them up out their seats, I think it'd be great to have a trios match instead of a 6-man if we can make that happen. For those who don't know what a trios match is, it has different rules than a 6-man, but very, very similar. Like, you don't have to tag in a trios match if you don't want to. You can just roll out the ring and one of your teammates can hop in.
Okay.
But that is you making the choice to roll out. If you're thrown out the ring, you're considered a legal man still. Okay. I believe that's the rules of a trios and stuff. But I loved it. Especially as a fan of it. And I feel like I hate when somebody says this person is the next this or the second that, because there were some people that were trying to compare Santos to Eddie Guerrero. If you're looking for someone to fill that Eddie Guerrero size hole, maybe, but he's going to be the first him. I just wish Andrade signed to SmackDown, so we could have had like a bidding war of is Legado going to get Andrade, or is LWO going to get Andrade? Like, I think that would have also been a cool storyline. But I also understand him wanting to carve out his own lane in Raw.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's exactly what we're going to see. It's an exciting time in the WWE. I've said a lot on the show. Embarrassment of riches, and that just continues here with WWE, man. And it was very much the theme of SmackDown, where we saw many different things. We've already talked about Bayley and IYO Sky. We've already talked about The Rock and Roman Reigns and Cody, and that's great stuff. Like I said, great for me. It's been a great SmackDown, and this has been a great episode. But another thing that I just felt like I want to bring up is just the utilization of talent here, and talent that we're bringing back. Like, I noticed that we're bringing B-Fab back into the fray here for Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. Speculation. I was going to say speculation that they're now called the Pride. They didn't have it on the bars or anything like that, but the Final Testament seems to be the Final Testament. I guess they want to go a different route, because my first thought was like, why B-Fab? Why not Bianca? But then I thought, well, Bianca's doing her own thing. She's got another situation that she's, doing. Bianca is Bianca, and I don't think, like, thinking about it, I'm like, maybe let's not relegate her to a stable right now, just because she's so big on her own. But I guess it could help somebody like a B-Fab to affiliate herself with somebody like the Pride. And man, I just feel like there should have been Excellence. Like, I really liked Excellence. That was a great name. I don't know, like, and of course it's Black History Month. I want to bring that in real quick and just say, hey, Black Excellence, And I just feel like it's a great opportunity to build somebody like a B-Fab. I haven't got a chance to really see her wrestle so much in the ring. I don't know what her experience level is really. But it's a great opportunity to build her up in what they're doing. I just want to see I want to see the Pride move around a little bit more than what is happening right now, because it feels like it's like, I don't know, you have two like brand new stables coming and button heads, and it's like, dang, it's like losing to each other because it wasn't a match. It was just kind of, this is where B-Fab got introduced and then the match didn't really start. But like, the thing I'm not digging right now is it's two brand new stables trying to butt heads with each other, and I feel like because they're so new, if either one of them lose, it can hurt them. What are your thoughts?
No, I agree. I agree. To have two stables form, because though you can argue that the Pride has been together for a minute, they haven't really had an opportunity to fully establish who they are and what they can do.
Right.
Now that they've got matching gear and it looks like they're coming into their own as a unit, then it's like, okay, they need some wins as a unit.
Yes.
And now they finally repackaged Cross and they're giving him so much stuff. They literally brought back the damn Authors of Pain for him.
Yes.
And it's like, they definitely can't afford a loss right now, because it's not only forming a stable, but then it's also a return while reforming a stable. So now your return team needs wins, your stable needs established, your leader has to look credible, and so it's a really, really sticky situation. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I'm one that likes to let things play out.
Sure.
But it's just one of those things where I can understand where there might be those confusions and frustrations, because it's like, yo, like, both of these teams can't really afford a loss right now.
Yeah, that's my main point, man, is that I like the fact that we have these teams. I really honestly do. That's not a lie at all. We're seeing so many more stables, and we're starting to see it become like, and I've noticed it, where each stable is now having the female representation of the group, and it helps add a layer to the stable. It helps it helps that female talent have something that's driving her, or a group that's driving her, because there's been so much finger pointing as far as the women's division. Is just like, there's not, they're there and they're having great matches, but there's no story, there's no this and that or whatever, and it's like,
it also allows Judgment Day to have full people to feud with.
Yeah, exactly. True, that too.
You have with Judgment Day, you have Priest, you have Finn, you have JD, and you have Dom. So with the Profits, now go get your tag team, and then Bobby can either face Dom or JD, or he can fight Priest. With Priest gets the singles title, Finn, whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then Cross, same situation, and the Authors of Pain, and then you also have Scarlett, who can take out Rhea if need be, take on Rhea if need be. LWO, you have Zelina Vega, and then you have Carlito, and then you have Joaquin and Toro, and then you got Angel Garza and Humberto for your tag team. You have Elektra Lopez for your women's, and then you have Santos. So it's nice that we're now getting these complementary stables.
Yeah. I really like where it's going. I like how it's like it's gang wars in wrestling right now. Everybody got to have somebody's back. Everybody's got to have a family. Everybody's got to have somebody that that's helping look over their shoulder. And I think that adds to something. I think that adds to competitiveness. I think that adds to brotherhood, sisterhood. What have you. I love it. I really love it. I love the time that we're in as far as stables, because I thought back about 10 or so years ago when I was watching wrestling, I was just enjoying it and not enjoying it and having my issues and complaining about it, which we all do as fans. I was like, man, where's the stables at? There's no stables, and like now all we got is stables. So I love it. I'm enjoying it, man. We talked a lot of SmackDown, and we're about to definitely slide out of here. It's been a really great episode, a great 300th episode. I've had fun talking to my guys over here. But before we get out of here, I know another thing about you, P, is that you are a big fan and a big supporter of NXT. I know you are of TNA, but also you love what you see. You've talked and felt passionately and had, diatribes and whatnot about NXT. We have NXT Vengeance Day going down tonight, and I feel like that we'd be remiss if we didn't at least talk a little bit about it. And I got a card here, and I got to tell you, this is definitely something I think that I'm going to be paying attention to. And I want to bring up some of the matches that we're having. We're going to have Dijak versus Joe Gacy in a no disqualification match.
He's in a dumpster last week.
Yeah, man.
No, like he threw him off of a high place through a dumpster. And I'm like, oh, they fight.
I love it, man. I'm enjoying it. We got that. We got Out the Mud. They're going to be going up against the Family. We also have Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker versus Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. That's in the Dusty Cup final. We got the NXT North American Champion, one of my fast rising favorites personally, Oba Femi, and going up against Dragon Lee. That's going to be a good big man versus cruiserweight type of match. I'm going to be looking forward to that one, to pay attention to that one. Lyra Valkyrie is going to be going up against Roxanne Perez, and then Ilya Dragunov is going up against Trick Williams for the NXT Championship in the main event. Trick Williams is going to be pulling double duty. They have got such incredible talent waiting in the wings to get on Raw and SmackDown already right now. I'm loving it. I'm loving NXT. What's your thoughts on this show, man? I know you've had a pretty busy wrestling heavy weekend, which is why I'm glad you was able to give us your time today. Are you going to be locked into this show, man? Are you going to be paying attention to it? What's your thoughts?
I'm going to be so tapped in, especially because, one, looking forward to see what happens with that North American Championship match. I got to see what happens. I'm a big Roxy fan, so I want to see what Roxanne Perez does against Valkyrie, and I hope that match goes well. Ready to see what Gacy is going to do with Dijak. There's so many things on this card that if you've been watching, realize how stacked this is, but I would be remiss if I didn't say there's two matches in particular I'm looking at. And part of it is because I also have a very bold prediction. I was going to ask you a question, but I know on time about to be out of here, but I have a very bold prediction. I think Mello and Trick are winning the tag.
Oh, you think they're going to win the Dusty Cup?
And the reason why I think they're winning the Dusty Cup is because, one, they are the closest to being an actual tag team.
Yeah.
Together. But also, they just gave Braun a contract, and he's trying to see whether or not he's going to Raw or SmackDown. So to me, why would you have him win just to lose to whatever tag team and then get called up? My other thing is I feel like that could cause potential strife between him and Braun in this tournament. A Baron in this tournament of like, yo, man, were you going to tell me that you were getting, these contract offers and whatever, I'm here in NXT. No one's offering me a contract. What's going on? Are they trying to call both of us up? I feel like that could cause strife going into the match.
Yeah.
Also, another bold prediction. I think Braun's going to sign to Raw. And I think he's going to sign to Raw because I think that's who challenges Gunther at Mania.
I like it.
I think we're getting Braun Breaker versus Gunther at Mania, so I'm thinking he's going to sign to Raw. That's just my prediction.
Give me that. I want it because it's going to make Braun Breaker look amazing when he beats him, and it's not going to be bad for Gunther. It's going to be like that. Man, that's such a good scenario right there where it feels like everybody can come out the winner on the other side of that.
But I really hope, and I say this with my full heart, I really hope Trick wins. I hope that double plays off of him winning. I feel like it's the time. I feel like it's the moment. I feel like this is when you need to really start building him because they've already said that he made such an impression when he showed up on SmackDown that they're like, yo, he has WrestleMania main event star potential.
I'm saying, bro.
So if you feel that as producers and as writers and as management, pull the trigger on him now so that way it can happen because then I have my next bold prediction. Mello and Trick win the Tag Team Dusty Classic. Trick wins the NXT Championship. Trick and Mello are doing their thing, and Trick's like, yo, I want to be the first person in NXT to hold the tag title the same time I'm holding the NXT title. Actually, Neville may have done that. I may be wrong. Neville may have done that.
think he did.
But if he did, it's been so long.
Yeah.
So Trick, wants to get both, and I'm thinking during the tag team match for the titles, they play the footage of Melo attacking Trick. That costs them the match. That sets up Trick versus Melo for the NXT title.
Oh my gosh, that will be good stuff. So let me ask you this. We all see the writing on the wall here with Trick Williams. We know Melo is an incredible talent. He's already been kind of showcased on Friday Night SmackDown, which it seems like eventually that's where he's going to be headed. We're seeing this crazy trajectory with Trick Williams, who is a Raw WWE NXT talent. I mean, they picked him up, they've showed him the way, and they built him and things of that nature. So as far as prospects go for somebody who could be a great generational talent, you said we throw that term around a lot. It's very buzzy, but I have to use it. Great generational talent for WWE as a whole moving forward. If Trick Williams wins the Dusty Cup and the NXT Championship in the same night, where do we put Trick Williams as far as prospects goes and potential one of the generational talents in WWE?
So if Trick wins both, I feel like that is telling of his future. If Trick wins both, that becomes one of those, you need to keep your fucking nose clean, because now you're getting the same potential that was once given to the Velveteen Dream.
Yes.
And given that same potential, and I know he made his apology and he was on the podcast and he said his piece and he tried to clear his name. But sadly, in wrestling, it's not always about the truth. It's about the story. And I'm not saying he's telling the truth or not. I'm just saying a lot of times in wrestling, a lot of times in life, it's not about the truth. It's about the story. And I feel like even if he were brought back, this is still going to follow him. And it's still going to burden him. It's still going to be a potential problem. But with that being said, Trick has so much potential to be something so great. And I feel like if they pull the trigger like that tonight, it's not only showing their faith in him and how they believe in him and what they think of him. It's showing this is what we have to look forward to. And I hate to put it this way, but there's a chance we don't get a long reign out of Trick. And it's because they're going to want to call him up by SummerSlam.
Yeah, I could see
and
that.
It sucks because I would love to have a long reign out of Trick. I would love to have Trick hold the title for close to, if not over a year. I would love for Trick to set some records, whether it's record number of defenses or record number of length held or both. I would love to make Trick a fighting champion so we get every opportunity to get him on TV and cutting his promos, talking his talk, and hearing that crowd just chanting, "Whoa, that Trick." I would love it. But I have a feeling that when you're somebody with that type of caliber of talent, this may be bold of me to say, there was a reason that Brock Lesnar wasn't in OVW long. Because he couldn't be. And I feel like we may get a similar situation of Trick, where now he can't be in there long. And granted, he's been in there 1 or 2 years, but there's a difference between being there 1 or 2 years and being there 1 or 2 years when we finally can see what you do and how you've caught on. And I think we're about to get that.
I think you're making, honestly, a lot of good points. And it's a delicate way to handle talent, and you have to handle delicately. Not everybody can be handled the same way as the next talent. It's all about your work ethic and how the crowd receives you and just how far you're gonna go and how quick it's gonna be. But I gotta say, I'm excited for tonight's show. I'm feeling vibrations from WrestleMania season. I've talked on this show a little bit about how some WrestleMania seasons, how some Road to WrestleManias have been flat. I don't feel that this year. I feel like there's once again, it feels like there's that electricity in the air. We have promotions like Emerge that's having great talent, with you being on top of the mountain there at Emerge, and we talked a little bit about it on commentary. Shout out to John Gates and AW Lurch, great team. A lot of people was approaching us last time, was saying, "Oh, commentary here is great and is that," and I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it. Gates don't get the credit he deserves. I just don't think that he does. That guy is immaculate. As far as being the lyrics to the song and being the lead man there, and it makes my job easier when you have somebody just that great. We're producing great talent on all sides of the camera there at Emerge. Once again, with P being on top of the food chain there with the tribe of Emerge Wrestling, and 500 or I'm sorry, 5 years, but 300 episodes here at In Your House. Everything just is like falling into this great place where I feel like something is coming, y'all. I really do. I feel like something big is cracking. I feel it, just like you can feel it. Like I know that every time I've ascended in the past, this is just me talking about myself. Every time I've ascended in the past, I felt it in the air. I felt the energy in the air, like something big was coming. And I really feel like this year is this. I got that feeling, and I haven't been wrong about that feeling yet. Is that something big is coming, and I truly do believe it. But until we get there, it's about the journey, and not so much the destination. And I'm enjoying the journey. It's been an incredible journey. I'm having the time of my life. I'm having a blast. Some of the best years of my life have come in these last 5 years, and I got a chance to weasel my way and sneak my way into the professional wrestling business and do some great things with some great people, and I've thoroughly enjoyed myself. I've thoroughly enjoyed my ride. We ain't going nowhere, y'all. This is not me saying this is a goodbye. Sometimes it's good to be reflective. Sometimes it's good to look back and see, man, I've come really far. I've come really damn far, and I'm proud of the fact of how far that I've come with this show and with my career and the people that I've met and the life that I've grown for myself, because man, if you guys would have known me years ago, it was a completely different vibe. I never imagined everything that I have now that I'd be having it. So I'm blessed. I live a good life, and I try to be I try to be present about that every single day, because that's been a goal of mine, is to be more present and to enjoy the moments. And I'm enjoying moments like doing this episode right here, like being on the call at Emerge Wrestling and having the best seat in the house for some of the best talent that you're going to see in the Midwest, for being that dastardly bastard known as Hollywood House at Destination 6 Wrestling, and anywhere else I might pop up this year. It's just been a vibe, man. It's been a great ride. And this episode has been a great episode, man, for sure. So, P, the Emerge World Heavyweight Champion, the world's most dangerous champion, the world's most dangerous game. But on this episode and on this show, the world's most dangerous podcaster. Let them know where they can find you at and what you got moving, bro.
Well, last night, I defended my championship against Braden Lee, and when that footage gets out there, get your eyes on it, get a hold of it, because Braden and I, we done this dance about 6 times, and every time we do it, sadly, and I only say sadly because, sometimes you got to know what it's like to lose, and he hasn't been able to beat me yet. It's coming. His day is coming, just wasn't going to be yesterday. I didn't come this far just for him to take my title from me. But this coming Saturday, I am returning to Frontline Pro in Wisconsin. I am fighting for championship gold, and I plan on walking out another champion. I plan on having a championship in both Indiana and in Wisconsin, having 2 titles in 2 different time zones. So that's on tap. Frontline Pro going up against the Ewok. Me and him had a fight back in December, and it went to a time limit draw. So this time there's got to be a winner. There's got to be a winner this time. As well as you can catch me here on the podcast. You can catch me up on social media. I got some irons in the fire, some things going on, some things moving. You may see the Emerge Championship defended outside of the country coming up here soon. So I'm trying to turn this title into a world title and make this thing feel super duper important. And I just want to thank everybody that helped us reach this 300. I could use this time to put myself over and things like that, but we got to really talk about, Hollywood put in that work to make this happen, to get us here. And it was you guys' support and riding along from this journey and the different avenues and the different ways to listen to us, and my cat's butt all up in my face. All these different things that, we have gone through. I mean, Khan went from hosting by himself to going through a couple of co-hosts, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And so the fact that you guys have been along for this journey, thank you for being here. Thank you, Khan, for, giving opportunity for guys like myself and Bell, and even when Voice was rocking with us. Thank you for the journey. Because a lot of times we get so worried about the destination, we don't appreciate the things along the way. And I hope you guys keep tapping in. I hope you guys keep, doing your thing. And as Khan likes to say, hop on this bandwagon.
Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir. So, of course, thanks to my great co-host here, Paragon, world's most dangerous podcaster. Of course, Hypocrisy Jones, great co-host here, making things move here at In Your House. Thank you guys out there, the household, for making us what we are. Because I'm telling you, if I didn't have the motion from you guys, if I didn't have the motivation from you guys, there's no way we'd be able to make it to 300 episodes in 5 years. So you guys, appreciate y'all. All the guests that we've had over the years, had a great string of guests. It's been great, and talked to names I never imagined myself talking to. It's been a hell of a ride, guys, but it's not over yet. We've got a lot of things moving and shaking. 300 episodes, guys, 5 years. We're not done. We are still going. So let you guys know where you can find me at. That's the Hollywood House on IG, Hollywood House on Facebook and on Twitter. And of course, if you want to follow this podcast here, it's In Your House. That's across all those social media platforms. And when you go to find us, make sure that you spell my name right. It's HOWSE, and the W stands for work. So you guys, you already know the vibe. We really appreciate you guys rocking with us. For our long-time listeners here, really love you guys. Really appreciate you guys for coming on this journey. For the new listeners, get ready, because it's about to be a rocky ride here at In Your House. And always remember to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to hop on this bandwagon. Get on or get gone. Because household, we are still going mighty strong. You guys have a great day and a great rest of your week. Peace.